Elizabeth Collins, who is the Director of Equity Research at Morningstar, is joining us this morning, and she's going to help us look at the fourth quarter, what's coming. So, for example, what should investors be expecting looking into the fourth quarter this year? What's in your crystal ball?
All right, so I think that the two things that will be on everybody's mind in the fourth quarter will, one, a possible recovery, albeit slow, in earnings. So for the past 5 quarters, the largest cap companies have faced an earnings recession, and we might see a little bit of an end to that, although it might be weak in the fourth quarter as people report third quarter and fourth quarter results. Secondly, I think all eyes will be on retail sales. It's been a very weak segment of the economy, and there's been massive discounting. Retailers are doing everything possible to get foot traffic in the door, but it's a very beleaguered segment, and I think that that will tell us a lot about what the future holds, not only for the economy, but for that part of the consumer cyclical sector.
Well, speaking about some specific sectors that we would expect some interesting things to happen would be, for example, in financial stocks, as well as healthcare.
Mm-hmm. Yep, so when we wrote our outlook on the next year, a couple weeks ago, we mentioned that healthcare and financial services were our most undervalued sectors. We think that investors had beaten down expectations too much in healthcare, particularly because of the rhetoric about pricing controls. But we think that some drug companies, at least, have enough intellectual property to withstand strong pricing power. And in financials, we think that a lot of banks have sold off indiscriminately, and even now we're starting to see early good signs from the biggest banks as they report.
And that would be the Wells Fargo. Unfortunately, they've had some crazy things happen. Bank of America and Chase, Citibank. So. And now, looking forward to some other sectors. What are some other sectors that we should look to particularly?
Well, it's the case right now that basic materials and energy are our most overvalued sectors, and it's because we have a pretty dim view on the outlook for Chinese demand for these commodities, and China is the most important consumer of the major commodities. And we've seen increasing concerns about Chinese debt levels, and I think that will continue to play out in the coming months and quarters.
Well, now thinking about Chinese, of course, the global market, there's a index that Morningstar runs, the Global Markets Index. What are the returns looking like in that particular index fund?
They've been strong so far this year, which is a bit of a surprise. Like, we've bounced back from both the early January and June scares that the market faced. And as a result, overall, based on our price to fair value estimate ratio for the overall market of the companies we cover, we think that our universe is fairly valued.
Elizabeth, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you.